Lance. Today we're going to look at how we did in our week 3 picks, maybe touch on fantasy teams a little bit. And I think we should start there. We'll just get that out the way because we don't need to talk about fantasy. I mean, it's fine. I'm 0-3, nothing major. My first 4 draft picks have looked like all busts so far. It's just, we can skip past that. Nico Collins had one good game so far. My first pick, my second pick, Drake London. That offense looks like it's a disaster. My third pick, Trevion Henderson, hasn't really gotten going yet. Although there is a little hope there because the two running backs ahead of him fumbled like 18 million times in that game. And so Henderson got a lot of touches toward the end of that game against the Steelers. So I think there might be a little hope there. And then my fourth round pick, Marvin Harrison Jr., is dropping touchdown passes that he shouldn't drop. And it's just been bad. Out of those 4 guys combined, I scored like 35 points, and I made a trade for Jared Goff as my quarterback, and he got 15, like expected. Overall, I put up like 106, which is decent, and I was able to beat out like 6 or 7 teams in our league, but didn't get a win. But against the guy that outscored me, so that happens. Got to make some moves. I have a move in the making that I don't know if you noticed yet or not. A certain trade of a certain quarterback coming my way that you might know a lot about. So that's coming, and I'm still working on some deals with some other people. But the problem with my team is I don't have a lot of trade assets because everyone's playing horribly. But there's still hope. Still a long season. I'm the second lowest scorer in our league because my guys have not done anything. But I'm not giving up yet. Quinshon Judkins looking like a great pick for me when I picked him up in like the 11th round. He's a starting
Yes.
running back now. Um, Trevor Henderson, we'll see if he can start going a little bit. Tyler Warren's looking good. I'm picking up Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. So he's not a top 3 quarterback like he used to be, but he's definitely better than Jared Goff as far as fantasy quarterbacks go. So there's still hope there. How are you doing?
Yeah, Andrew, it's fantasy football, you just never know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so tough to know, man. It's because I'm 2-1. Last week was rough. Eli just had an amazing week. If you score over 120 points fantasy, you do pretty good. I
Mm-hmm.
had 123, he had 135. The part that's just killing me right now is Ashton Genty. I just cannot.
I know, man.
I know it's there though. That's the part that's making me mad is that the Raiders just cannot find a way to get it going. But I know it's
Mm-hmm.
there. I've seen it. And I would argue that the Raiders have a better offensive line. So I don't know what it is that they're doing that's and maybe I honestly haven't been able to watch
Mm-hmm.
the matchups. If they're doing what they're doing or what the teams have done with Saquon Barkley, which is just done 7 in the box, which they might be doing, might explain why Trey Tucker had 20 or 40 fantasy points last week because he just kept getting open.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Just
I
kept
did
throwing
just want to
bombs.
I did just want to say, I predicted that Trey Tucker was going to do this, and in multiple of my fantasy leagues, I picked him up after week 1 because I just had a feeling that the Trey Tucker breakout game was coming, and I'm glad he's on my bench. I don't have to search for him. He's an awesome option. But
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is looking like a legit #1 receiver for me on my team. Brock Bowers is
Yep.
still doing Brock Bowers thing. Devontae Smith had a good bounce back week. Chuba Hubbard did okay for me, which is kind of weird. I expected more after a 30-0 stomping of the
Yeah.
Falcons,
Yeah,
but
they
it
had a
was
lot
just
of defensive touchdowns. So,
yeah. I will say Caleb Williams has continued to be consistent every week. He's
yeah.
just getting me the points I need, and he's shown up. Commanders did good last week. By the way, I would just like to tip my hat to the fact I stuck with my Commanders pick even with the Daniels injury, and I'm proud of myself for that pick. The rest of my picks we could have definitely decide to nitpick,
I stuck with mine
target.
too. I did drop my confidence level down, but I stuck with it as well because I looked back on it and I saw that I gave Marcus Mariota a lot of hate last week if he was going to play. But I look back and actually the games he played last year when Daniels got dinged up, he played pretty well. So I thought,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I should not think that way.
But yeah, man, excited. Jordan Addison is on multiple of my teams. Excited to have him back to be able to put in the lineup.
Hmm.
But yeah, I didn't win, but it was a week that made me think, I'm going to compete. I'm going to continue to be in this thing. It's just a matter of which way will the cards fall. Really need Ashton Genty to start getting, 20 points a game, Ashton. Get like 10 receptions, please. Add in at least 70 yards. Do just those things, make it competitive.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so it was a good week for fantasy.
Yeah, yeah. My other leagues I'm looking pretty decent in, but this particular one, there's work to do, and that's fantasy football for you. You always got to do some work. Um, but getting to our game picks, so I was down by, I believe, 17 points going into week three, as far as just the points go, not necessarily the game picks. My game picks have been roller coaster, but as far as the scoring, I was down by 17. I'm only down six now. So comeback season, at least just between me and you. We have other teams in our league that are just making us look silly right now.
Thrashing us. They're thrashing us, Andrew.
Yes, they're making us look bad. No, it's again, it's a long year. There's still like 12 weeks left of this season. Actually, more. There's like 13 weeks left of this season. So there still could be comeback season. But as far as you and I are concerned, my win-loss record is bad. I'm barely over 500, but I'm starting to play the confidence game. I'm only down six right now. Um, the two main differences last week was Bengals, Vikings, and Texans, Jaguars. I mean, we both picked the Texans to win, and that was, I don't know if I could pick the Texans to win again. I think they play the Titans next week, so I'm probably going to have to, but they look awful. And that Bengals game, that was a big turnaround on me getting some points on you because I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
expect the Vikings win 48-10, but I thought have enough in the house overall roster wise better than the Bengals. Um, but the craziest one that I really want to talk about is the Browns Packers. I got to touch on that a little bit because it's near and dear to my heart, near and dear to my team, to the NFC North. Um, so we've been talking back and forth about how Packers are a really good team, and I will admit that their defense is elite. I didn't expect their defense to be this good. I knew that Michael Parsons' additions, of course, going to help, but I didn't think their secondary was great, and their run defense could have been spotty. But overall, secondary has been really good. Run defense, they let Quinshon Judkins get run on a little bit, but it wasn't like he gashed him. I think he had like 90 yards or something and a touchdown. So he just was consistent. So they didn't really like get destroyed by him. But their defense has looked elite. I was just always on the side that I didn't really believe in Jordan Love, and I looked wrong the first couple weeks. Not last week. I got to take a victory parade for last week because this is what I've been just feeling for his whole career. He's got all the talent in the world. He is like a top five talent as far as quarterback is concerned. You can see him slinging that ball. It looks beautiful. Like, how did he throw that? There's just something else. I don't know if it's decision making, if it's in between the ears, his thought process. He just doesn't succumb to the pressure. I don't know what it is, but there's just something missing. And that interception he threw, you cannot do that. I don't know if the receiver ran the wrong route. I don't know if he did see one of the four defenders that he threw the ball to. I don't know what it was, but that pick was horrible. You can't throw that. My thought, which I could be wrong, I thought maybe he had the wrong route concept in his mind, like the play call. Maybe he thought the different play call, and he threw like a slant when the receivers are running like out routes or something. I don't know. The receiver was nowhere around, and I got picked off. Ran back to the five. Quinshon Judkins scores a touchdown, but even with that, the Packers should have won this game. They should have won this game. It took a crazy blocked field goal, returned to midfield a couple plays later, then a long 56-yard field goal for the Browns to win. So even with that pick, Packers still should have won, but their offense just couldn't get going. Browns have a really good defense. But that was our 15 or 16 confidence pick, and we were both wrong on that. And I couldn't be happier to be wrong. So from now on, other than when the Packers play the Vikings, I'm picking the Packers to win every single time, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, man. It's all fair observations, and I'm just gonna say it's 1 week. It's
Yeah.
1 week.
Hmm.
They've still kept it close. The part that I'm concerned about for the Packers is that run game. 16 carries for 30 yards for Josh Jacobs. That is
That's
horrid.
how you beat the Packers. If you stop Josh Jacobs and make Jordan Love beat you, and I've been hearing so much about how they're the youngest team and there going to be so much development on the receivers. I haven't seen it. Whenever you're in the league for 3+ years, you pretty much are who you are as a receiver. And Romeo Dobbs is this is his third or fourth year. Jaden Reed, who he's hurt, so that does count, but he hasn't really done much more than he's done. Christian Watson is always hurt, so you can't trust him. Now, Golden, he could be something. He's still young, so maybe he will develop into a one, but he's been non-existent so far. I'm just hearing all this that the younger Stephen Core that they're going to be so elite at some point. When's that going to happen? Because Jordan Love can't do it by himself. His receivers need to do something, and they're just all solid, but none of them are like really good. So they don't keep defenses up at night. Like we got to stop this guy. We just they think, all right, let's stop Jacobs and contain the rest, and that's how you beat the Packers on offense.
Yeah, I mean it's fair, man. I would say that, four receptions for 52 yards. You showed up. You showed up. He only had 4 targets. Like Matthew Golden did everything he could today. He maximized his ability. Um, I still think the biggest issue is the run game. And I get what you're saying about Jordan Love. I understand that. It is difficult to be successful. There's no AJ Brown on this team. There's no Devontae Smith. I'd say Tucker
Mm-hmm.
Kraft is on par with Dallas Goedert at this point, as far as talent wise. Like, there's no one that's like great on this passing game that's really like great. Josh Jacobs should be getting going. Something's got to be
Mm-hmm.
fixed there. Um, I know Miles Garrett is on the other side. I know it makes it tough, but the running game, I think, is what I leave most concerned about for the Packers. Um,
Yeah.
and yes, Jordan Love did not do great on that interception, and that is all warranted. It was still just a 10-13 loss.
Mm-hmm.
You could bounce back from this. They could bounce back and become a
Oh,
better
for
team.
sure. Oh, for sure. And they're still one of the top 6, 7 teams in the league, top to bottom, for sure. But my stance has always been I don't think Jordan Love is the guy that you can win the Super Bowl because of. Can you win
Hmm.
with if your team around you does everything else? Sure. Yeah, you can. And they have a lot of those pieces, so it's possible. But he's just getting so much hype that he is this elite quarterback, and I've never seen him be elite. I've seen him be like in the Dak Prescott range, where
Yeah,
he's
that's fair.
he's good,
That's fair.
he's
Hmm.
got talent. You can see the talent, but there's always just something missing. You can't really quantify it, but you just think he's not going to win a Super Bowl because of that player. They could win a Super Bowl because of everything else around him, which the Packers could, but it's not Jordan Love, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, if we could switch gears to some of the other games real quick.
Let's do it.
Um,
What you got?
I called the Falcons failure. I didn't pick them, but I did say after that Vikings
Yeah,
Falcons game, this is not a sustainable offense. And man,
yeah,
did they not look sustainable. But no worries, ladies and gentlemen. They fired their wide receiver
Mm,
coach, who's clearly to blame for all of their failures on offense.
absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, who else would you blame? I mean, I would have blamed the offensive coordinator. I would have blamed the quarterback coach. I mean, it's clear to
No,
the wide receivers coach
no.
why they're failing. I mean, it just makes no sense to go after anyone else. Um, I'm just surprised
Hmm.
that they honestly think that doing this little trickery of we're going to fire the wide receiver coach is going to make everything better. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, Penix is
It's finger pointing. You got to blame someone. Can't be my fault. It's your fault.
well. I mean, Penix had 2 interceptions, awful, dreadful, um,
Hmm.
and he shouldn't be struggling this bad. He should have taken off by now. I mean,
Yeah,
Darnell Mooney is a solid
I agree.
like number two, number three receiver. You know you can throw it to him. He's going to catch the ball. He reminds me a lot of the Eagles' Jason Avant, where you could throw it to him, he'd get the yards. He's not going to break away like Drake London, but like John Robinson's available in the passing game. Ray McLeod is honestly not a bad number three. He's like decent. Like there are players
Yeah.
there. Um, But
And
man,
as
they
much as we
just
make
made
fun of
him.
Kyle Pitts, he's still a talent that you can target.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Pitts is a guy that he could get 30. He's a solid 30 to 40 yard tight end. That's how I would describe him. If you threw it, he's just not a top 10 tight end. He's not like a he's not a bottom 15. He's probably about somewhere around the 15 range for where I'd put him right now in terms of tight ends in the NFL. He's serviceable. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I can't believe they left that Vikings game thinking we're just going to continue to be the same running offense. No. In today's NFL, that doesn't work. You better be
Hmm.
Saquon Barkley and have an amazing offensive line. Like that's not the Falcons. You have to get the passing game going. So
Yeah.
shout out to Kirk
Yeah. They
Cousins, I
didn't win that
guess.
Vikings game because their offense. Yeah, the
No.
Falcons did win that Vikings game because their offense. They won it because they pressured McCarthy over and over, and McCarthy just couldn't get going. And even with that, it was like a 15-6 game with like 4 minutes left. Minnesota wasn't dead yet, as I showed in the Bears game. But yeah, because we stopped them in the red zone like 19 million times. So yeah, they didn't win that because of their offense. But like you were going with Kirk Cousins, is what the point I was wanting to make in our previous episode of what the Bengals should do. I think there's two quarterbacks the
Oh,
Bengals should trade for.
okay.
They should trade for Kirk Cousins, or with the breaking news of Jackson Dart starting in the Giants, they should trade for Russell Wilson. One of those two guys.
No.
They're
The first
better
one I agree with.
than Jake Browning. They're both
It's
better
not
than
worth
Jake
it.
Browning.
What
Well, it
what, what
depends
are
on what
the
you got to
Giants
give
going to make?
up. It depends on what you got to give up because the Giants they don't need Wilson
Yeah.
anymore. They got Jackson Dart and then Jameis Winston could be their backup. Wilson's just going to sit there and just take a roster spot, eating up money. If you can get like a fifth round pick for him, go for it. And if you're the Bengals, you're 2-1. Your season's not over. You still have a shot at the playoffs, and Joe Burrow might return toward the end of the year, and you can get something going. You just got to win some games. And I think Russell Wilson is a better player than Jake Browning. Now, I would prefer Kirk Cousins, of course, but out of everyone that's available, I think those are the two best options they got because I don't think Jake Browning's it. They got to do something. They have a talented team. They're only 2-1. They still have a shot. Are they still first place in their division? They're first place with the Steelers because the
Mhm.
Ravens lost. They're 1-2, so they're first place in their division. You just can't let Jake
Yeah,
Browning tank
but
your team.
that's fraudulent standings. The Ravens will bounce back. They had
That's
they had
fair. That's fair.
the Lions and the Bills. I mean, those are their two losses.
And they
Whereas,
had those games kind of in play to win, and then the other team just made great plays to beat them. It
I
happens.
mean, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. They definitely should have closed the gap, especially the Bills one. That is a win.
Yep.
They will regret the whole season.
Hmm.
They're not getting the whole season. Um, trying to think of this. Oh, I just have to get to my Cardinals for a second. I have put so much faith into this
Me
rebuild,
too. Me
and
too.
what a spectacular failure. You couldn't beat the backup Niners. I mean, that's really who
Hmm.
you faced. I, I,
Hmm.
I don't care how Matt Jones is looking. That is a winnable game. It's a winnable game, and they just
Hmm.
15 points on offense is pathetic. The
Gave it
defense did
away.
their job. 15 points on offense is
Yeah,
horrible.
and two of those points was a safety toward the end of the game. So they scored 13 points.
Dude, it is insane. And Mac Jones didn't even look that good. I mean, 27 for 41, one touchdown, one
Nope.
TD. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, I'd sign up for that if I'd known that that would be the outcome. That's not that good.
Hmm.
I just their leading receiver was Ricky Pearsall, right? Or who was their leading receiver? I
For the
mean,
Niners,
Pearsall
yeah, I
did
think
it.
so. I think it was Pearsall.
He did good. I don't get it, man. I just don't understand the
Yeah.
Cardinals. I know they lost James Conner, but he
They
wasn't the main
play
engine of that
good enough to
offense.
lose. They play good enough to lose. That's what they do. And it's so annoying because I got a ton of talent. I want to believe in them, and usually I do, and then this happens. And everyone's on the 49ers bandwagon now. They're 3-0. Oh, they're a Super Bowl caliber team. No, they're not. They are a decent team with a lot of injuries that are just sneaking by some wins. I think the Seahawks are a better team than them right now. They beat the Seahawks in week one. Give the 49ers credit, but the Seahawks look like a better team than the Niners right now. But Niners are 3-0, and they're leading the West. But the Cardinals, man, Yeah, I don't know. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Got to give props to the Chargers, 3-0 in the division.
Yeah, I mean that's big. Um, Broncos gave away two back-to-back games. They had that game in the works and they gave it away again. And I think it's a Bo Nix thing. Bo Nix just isn't a closer. He's fine, but he's not closing games, which maybe he'll get there. But yeah, Chargers 3-0. They had two comeback victories back-to-back weeks. Um, yeah, they've looked good. They've looked good enough to win, and they're leading that division with an undefeated record in division. That's huge.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with you. It's we'll see. We'll see what happens for Bo Nix moving forward. It's you definitely need a little bit more. But even Justin Herbert didn't look
Hmm.
great. Amari Hampton had a really good day. I'd say overall he was definitely looking
Yeah,
pretty
Najee
good.
Harris injury is big.
Yeah, but dude, Quentin Johnston, he is really turning it on this year. He's having a Nelson Aguilar type season where he's just
Renaissance
rebounding.
year.
Where
Hmm.
where did this come from? This is not the type of Johnston that we're used to from years past. But I mean, I give props to Chargers. You won at home, and that's really important. You won at home. You've got a
Hmm.
3-0 lead on the division. You own all the tiebreakers with your opponents in the division. It's
Hmm.
a young season. Things could still change. But man, I don't know, Andrew. It might only be till like the halfway point, and then we could basically wrap up the AFC West. I don't know. The Chiefs have a tough schedule. Don't they play the Ravens next
Hmm.
week? And like,
Yes. Yes. Both teams are 1-2, which no one would have guessed, but yeah.
I don't know how they're going to pull it out. I really don't know how they're going to pull that out.
Hmm.
That's going to be really tough. Going to be a good game, but Isaiah Rodgers is probably going to sneak into a smaller size shoe this game. So yeah, I mean, I think that those are my biggest highlights from last
Yeah.
week. There's others. I mean, we can talk about the Cowboys, but we'll get to them, moving forward. But wow, they are in
Yeah.
trouble. They're in trouble.
Yeah. Their defense is bad. CeeDee Lamb's now hurt for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Their season is on the brink of being over, and this is only week three.
Yeah, it's I can't believe, man, that the NFC East is making things so easy for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are. I'm not trying to say that in like a arrogant way. It's just I didn't expect it to be, I mean, the Commanders could still pick up, but they're in trouble. That running game is still not great. And the fact they just traded Brian Robinson for peanuts will never make sense to me. So,
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll get our game picks in tomorrow. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'll look at it tonight. And we'll see if I can continue to catch. I'm only down six now. My picks on the actual teams winning hasn't been great, but I'm playing that confidence level game. I'm starting to creep up a little bit. We'll see if I can continue that. Well, thank you guys for joining us in this episode of the Gridiron Grind. Andrew and Lance. We'll get our game picks in tomorrow. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you next time.
we'll see everybody.